Are you tired of searching for the best way to get runes and keep finding clickbait videos that have links to scam websites? Yeah, well, so am I. So let's take a look at the most famous rune farms and glitches and see which ones really come up on top and which ones will be useful on your first playthrough. For this test, I will be using the Golden Scarab, but not the Pickled Fowlfoot, though you most certainly will want to on your own playthroughs. I will also be using characters that are on their first playthrough, so there will be no fudging of the numbers for more clickable titles and thumbnails. All I ask is that you do leave a like so that YouTube knows that this is a better guide. The first rune farm is really only used for the early game, found near Lenne's Rise, is the Rolling Ball farm. It consistently gives exactly 2,342 runes, and each cycle averaged about 25.6 seconds, giving us 91.48 runes per second, which is going to be way lower than all of the rest of the rune farms here, so I really only recommend this one if you have not already beaten Godric, and maybe not even then, to be honest. The next farm is likely going to be the very first one that you go see in any given playthrough. This dragon can be safely bled to death, and with Reduvia, it takes about 158 seconds to do so. Now, if you rush to the nearby Grace, you can keep it from dying while still getting 60,000 runes per run, or you could let it die, which kills off the 4 smaller dragons that protect it, netting you 89,148 runes, giving you an RPS of 379.75 and 550.3 runes per second, respectively. That's it for the early game farms, time to head underground. The next well-known rune farm is going to involve shooting this bird. Now, the bird's AI can be a little weird at times, and occasionally it doesn't want to jump off of the cliff to its death blindly. In my single run test, I got 13,245 runes in 15 seconds, which gives us an RPS of 883. But when I took the 2-minute test, I missed one of my shots and the bird didn't jump down, so I got 79,470 runes in 119 seconds, giving me an RPS of only 667.82. Now, the only rune farms that don't involve the post-game that are gonna net anything higher than this rune farm is going to involve the use of glitches. Now, a lot of the glitches actually give very similar yields, so I'm only going to go over the 3 best options which are safe enough to be performed consistently. Although it's always possible that these will be patched out as they are not intentional at all. So the idea for this first glitch is that you're able to climb up these rocks with Torrent and work your way over the top and then jump over the edge of the world, swinging your sword wildly for about 70 to 75 seconds, then fast travel after being overloaded with a burst of runes as everything in the area just dies. This net me an average of 158,959 runes over 146.57 seconds for an RPS of 1,084.52. Now, that is not the only way up on this cliff. Just go ahead and go to this corner and you really just start working your way up. This climb itself is a bit easier, but the RPS is a little bit less for this one, coming in at 1,068.68. If you work your way to the end of the game and to the Relic tree, you can head back to the consecrated snowfields for the easiest jump by far. All you have to do here is make your way past the portal and make sure you jump far enough so that you don't die. Although this may look worse than the other glitch options because it only nets you 111,432 runes per run, its direct route takes the run duration down to 104 seconds, so the RPS is actually about the same, coming in at 1,068.04 runes per second. But as you might have guessed, the obvious winner of this farming race is the post-game Albanor farm. But just how much better is it? Well, it's at least twice as good as the next best option, and that's kind of lowballing it because my test had a lot of variables. Because I measured from the start of when I got up from the grace to the end of when I sat back down from the grace, it kind of skewed it heavily more in the favor of the longer cycles than it would normally. But even then, the smallest RPS I got for any of the tests here was 2,031 runes per second, and the 2-minute test came in with 2,553.67 runes per second, which is 2.5 times better than the next best glitch farm. I believe that even with my human error, that this conclusively proves that if you have already beaten the game, then the Sacred Relic Sword farm is by far the best one available to players, even with glitches. Though if you are on your first playthrough and you don't have access to the Sacred Relic Sword, perhaps you should consider swinging your sword into the Great Abyss. If this helped you out, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and if you have any other pressing questions, leave a comment below. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next one. Later.